Please.
Did you attempt any IELTS mock test?
Yeah.
So how did you overcome at the venue?
I wanted to mention this answer in this video as well, because I know that I had answered that question with the logic.
True.
And this was something they were demanding from me.
Yeah.
It was nothing that I was praising his personality, like he wore a great coat or a great shirt, or he had a luxury watch or something. I was not describing that. I was describing what was something extraordinarily different that I did not see in other people or other pupils in my life.
True.
So this was the
cue card. This was the cue card. Yeah.
And the next thing that was asked in my speaking test was that the question related to the personality.
Yeah.
Although they were not totally related to Dr. Abrar Ahmed.
Yeah.
But they were related about the personalities. True. And one of the questions was that I remember was that can an ordinary person influence the people around him?
Excellent.
And I totally agreed with that, and I replied that it's definitely possible, and I can give you an example because Saridi.
Yeah.
You can say that Abdul Sattar Idi, he was an ordinary person.
Yeah.
He lived a very ordinary life.
Yeah.
But he influenced the lives of millions of people.
Yeah. Excellent.
And although you can see that Pakistan do not have that kind of finances, and it's not financially and economically that strong a country to support the largest ambulance service in the whole of the world.
Yeah.
And this is thanks to Dr. Idi.
Yeah.
Although you can say that countries like USA and UK and the developed countries, they must have those facilities that are quite, you can say that scientific and technologically quite advanced. But when you come to cost-free service, it's I think Pakistan is number one in that.
True.
And it's the ambulance service that that has been given to us by Dr. Abdul Sattar Idi. And following his footsteps, Chipa Sahib.
Yeah.
He is another person who is influenced by Dr. Abdul Sattar Idi, and he went on to help him in this regard as well.
True.
There is another service, Chipa, that is also catering to the needs of the people.
Excellent.
And this was the example that I gave them to satisfy their answer, satisfy them with my answer that an ordinary person can change the lives of people.
Excellent.
And I think you have to answer each and every question with an example, and you must try to answer that example from the common people's life.
Yeah, that's great. From the society.
Yes, sir, from the society that people are normally encountering in their life. So it would be quite satisfying for those people who are asking you the question. And also it would be easy to for them to understand and to know that the person knows what's going on around his surroundings.
True.
And he is quite observant. He knows how to use his language.
Excellent.
And to describe the happenings in his surroundings, he can use the language quite fluently.
Excellent.
So I think that that's for the speaking section.
True.
And if there is anything else that you would like to ask me, I would be obliged to ask.
So really, it's a very impressive talk,
which shall surely help us all in comprehending the nature of the IELTS test. I'm sure that the IELTS aspirants shall also learn about the effective test preparation tips, techniques, and strategies. But at the same time, I'm
sorry, that this great detailed talk resulted in that making that cup of tea with the tea, the cold, it has finally converted tea into cold water now.
It's fine.
So before we start the questions, I'm going to make some change. I'm going to amend something as far as your mics are concerned. So just a minute. You take tea, let me know that make arrangements. please, you people are requested not to ask questions if there is any, or your feedback about the presentation the man gave. So 2 points are there. Just to ask the question if there is any regarding your IELTS examination, or if it's not there, then it's you to comment on his performance. So really, he's one of the greatest achievers I ever came across during my the approximately 39 years of teaching, as I started teaching in 1984 when I was a student of grade 6. Now poverty sometimes is a gift.
Yes, sir.
So as I was living in a very poor area, in a poor family, so I had to earn,
Yes, sir.
to learn. So for earning, I started teaching that students that when I was in grade 6 in 1984. But he's a genius that in so many senses he impressed me too much during his the 2.5 weeks stay over here. So see, I gave my opinion about his performance. So any question or feedback, please. Who will initiate? Please.
Did you attempt any IELTS mock test?
To be honest, I just took the separately sections that were on the sites of IELTS update. I think that Sir Rafi gave the link to me.
Yeah.
And I prepared the reading section from there. And for the speaking, I just forgot to mention that I used to prepare for speaking while I was coming to the academy, or when I was going back to my home. I downloaded an application in my mobile that was speaking simulator. And it had that questions that are normally asked during the IELTS exam. And while that computer asked me a question, I was just simply putting my hand on the recording button, and I pressed that button and I started speaking and answering that question. While doing that, I realized that I was stammering and stuttering a lot in the first few days. I thought that although I was quite fluent when I was imagining, and I was thinking in my subconscious mind that I had to answer this and this and this, and that's enough. But while I was practically speaking and answering that question, I noticed that I was taking a lot of pauses. And there was a lot of stammering and stuttering, and there was another thing that I noticed, that my heartbeat was increasing. Although I was alone, I thought that if it's increasing when I am alone, what would happen when I am in front of an examiner? So this was something that I practiced a lot.
True.
And although I had that thing in my mind when I came to Sir Rafi, and I mentioned specifically speaking to him as well when I first met him, that I wanted to improve my speaking, because I knew that although I had the vocab, although I had that grammar to just communicate the basic language, but I thought that it would not be sufficient enough to get 7 or to get above that. And in speaking, I got 7.5, and I think that I would have got a bit better in that section as well. Because as I mentioned earlier, that during my exam, when I was telling the examiner about my city, she just suddenly paused me during that my answer, and she asked me to give her the identification card. So that was the point that I got confused. This is where I think that I missed a 0.5 band, I think, because when I resumed that answer, I just forgot the whole scenario where I was. And I think that would be the case, because otherwise I think that I fared quite well in that speaking test. So I think that would be the point that could have...
You scored, in speaking?
7.5, sir.
7.5. Do you think that if that didn't happen, you would have
it would
scored,
have been, I think, 8.
8 or 8 plus.
Yes.
Please, any other thing?
Before your exam, did you have any sort of examination fever, like the time you entered the venue?
Happens, and it happens to the best of the lot.
So how did you overcome at the venue?
उजड़ी बस्ती यारो नजरी आवे कंड कीती जद यारां